And aloha. Welcome everybody. I'm having to overdub this video from home since my microphone setup wasn't working while I was filming, but I got some good footage, so I decided I'm going to produce this video anyway. What I was doing was I had my DJI Osmo Action camera secured to the front chin bar of my motocross helmet, and then I had the adapter into the side of the camera that allowed me to plug in a 3-ring 3.5mm audio plug into it so that I could record with a microphone, but I think I was using the wrong type of microphone. The mic that I was using was powered, which means it's got a couple of batteries in it, and the signal was too strong, so it was causing the camera audio portion of it to go into clipping, which was just too much sound, and it just basically, in order to save itself from having crappy audio, it just shut the audio off. And I didn't realize it until after I was done writing and trying to put this video together. You'll see my camera there is aiming at the phone that I have, and you actually, if you look closely, you can actually see the road in front of me. I have it Wi-Fi to my camera so that I can control the camera with my phone while it's mounted to the handlebars there. Pretty cool setup. I like it a lot, and you'll notice that I'm talking about it right now, and I think that's what I'm doing, is I'm just explaining what I have it doing, so I'm going to shut it off to save some battery for my phone. Where I'm headed is south on Volcano Highway, in which I'm going uphill towards Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii, on the island of Hawaii. And see right there, I'm pointing at one of the mounts I have for an action camera. It's a GoPro mount mounted to my master cylinder for my front brake. And right in front of that are the that black thing. I have one on the opposite side also. You see it on the left. That's auxiliary LED light pods that I added to the motorcycle. Really helps at nighttime. Gives a huge bright swath of light. Way better than the stock headlight. So I'm heading up the hill. You can kind of get the occasional glance at the speedometer. 55-mile-an-hour speed limit here, and we're just following traffic. And it was really nice weather. Nice and cool for a ride. Wasn't hot, wasn't raining, and we just keep going up the hill. Right here, I'm probably about a 2,500 foot level, heading up the hill towards Volcano, and behind us is Hilo. Probably now about 20 miles back. When I get to Volcanoes, just past a 28 miles from Hilo. Just past that is the entrance to Volcanoes Highway. So, and I'm still explaining the lights. I have those lights that I was explaining. I have them wired into the high beams so that they're only on when I have the high beams on. And then I also replaced the headlight bulb, tossed the stalker away, and put in a H11 as the headlight. The number of the model number that you need to use, a H11 bulb, but it's I put an LED bulb in there. I think it's an aux beam, just like the two side pods, auxiliary pods. Works pretty awesome. One thing you'll know about this island is that it's huge, and if you plan on coming here to visit, you'll want to make sure you spend a week exploring everything. So if you're here only for a week, you lose your first day of your vacation here in Hawaii for the day that you get here. So more than likely you won't get here till sometime afternoon, depending on where you fly from. But if you're flying from the West Coast, whether it's Seattle, San Francisco, LA, or San Diego, or somewhere else, It's a 5.5 hour flight minimum to get here. And so even if you leave first thing in the morning, you're not going to get here till at least noon or 2 o'clock or something. There is a time change, and in the summertime it's a 3-hour time change from West Coast, from the Pacific Standard Time. Hawaii doesn't change daylight savings, so during the summertime it's 3 hours, during the wintertime it's only a 2-hour difference. So you gain a couple of hours when you're coming here. However, you're going to spend time at the airport getting your bags, getting your rental car, going to your hotel, getting checked in, and you really won't have much to spend time doing. You won't have much time to spend doing things, I should say, on your first day here, other than trying to figure out where you are and what you want to do and go and find something to eat. So that first day is a throwaway day. And why I always suggest people that are coming to the island, especially for the first time, and if you're coming from the mainland of the United States, meaning you're flying west to get here, you're gonna have at least a 2 or 3 hour time change. Now, if you're coming from the East Coast, New York, or somewhere back east, that's a 6-hour time change. And what I suggest for people to do that first morning they wake up is take advantage of that time change. Get in your rental car and go drive somewhere and watch the sunrise. Now, if you're on the west side of the island, on the Kona side, you're going to have to drive towards the east side of the island to see the sunrise. So if you're anywhere on this island, whether it's Hilo side, the east side, or the west side, I suggest driving up Saddle Road. And if you have the means to get up there, go to the top of Kilauea. Go to the top of Mauna Kea, where the observatories are. You can't beat that sunrise. But if you're not into doing that, just get out, go watch the sun come up. It's so peaceful here. Yeah, that way you take advantage of the time change. You're already wide awake while most of the locals are still sleeping. You can go do stuff where there's not a bunch of crowds out. And now you'll notice I'm still heading up the hill. We're climbing up to, when we go into the entrance to the Volcanoes National Park at Kilauea, it's right around the 4,000 foot level, just above 4,000 feet. And it can get cold up there occasionally, which is a relative term. I know some of you from back east, or some of you from cold climates are like, how cute. But the climate here is different. There's 11 different climate zones on this island alone, which is the big island of Hawaii. 11 climate zones of all of the 13 that are found in the entire world, which is pretty amazing. So you drive through, you can drive through a desert, you can drive into I don't even know what you would call it, but there's 11 of them. Maybe I'll look it up and put a link in it to show you where you can go and find out how many climate zones are here. I am getting closer to Volcano. There's a place called Volcano Village up here where people live. There's a post office in Volcano Village. It'd be a cool place to send if you have postcards or letters you want to mail home or to friends at work. Going to Volcano, see the sign on the right. You hang a right from this highway, which is Mauka, which means mountain. Go right in that street right there, and you drive in to the first block, and you'll see another street, and you'll be able to find the post office there. Yeah, it's cool to send a letter from Volcano. It actually is the name of the town. But what's even cooler is if you go into the park, which you'll see a little bit later in the video, you can send a letter from within the Kilauea, the park at Kilauea. So it'll actually have the postage will show that it was mailed from Volcanoes National Park. Pretty cool. It used to be a military camp there, so that's what it's called. The locals refer to it as KMC. Now, I apologize, I didn't stop the video to show you, but I'll do a little pop-up right here. See that sign? That sign is a good spot to stop and take pictures. It's a world famous place, and it's proving to people that you were in Hawaii. I don't know if you can see it or not, but see between the trees above that forerunner that I'm following, there's a little dark spot. That's actually the summit of Mauna Loa, which is the world's most massive mountain that's above the ocean. I guess some scientists just found a larger, more massive mountain or volcano, mountain, under the surface of the ocean. It hasn't breached the surface yet. But Mauna Loa is the most massive mountain on the planet. And right next to it is the tallest mountain on the planet, which is Mauna Kea, where the observatories are. And they're only separated by, I think, less than 50 feet. I think it's about 37 feet, but it's pretty cool. So here we are, getting in the left lane here to turn in to go into the park. And this is Volcanoes National Park. You'll see the sign, and like I said, it's just past mile marker 28 when you are driving south from Hilo. If you're coming from Kona side, it is going to be past mile marker 29, and you're going to be turning right from the highway. And let's go cruise the park. And there's 2 lanes, but a lot of times the right lane is for workers, so make sure when you get in the lanes that you're not getting in the wrong lane. Today it wasn't for workers. There was a green light up on both of them, which means they're both open for the public. So you can use the right lane because a lot of times it's shorter. Otherwise, if you're here when there's a lot of tourism going on, you might wait in that line for 10 minutes trying to get in the gate. It is the most popular tourist attraction on this island, and it's the second most popular attraction in the whole entire state behind Pearl Harbor. Off to the right is the visitor center, and just left turn right here coming up. That's the Volcano House. It's a hotel, restaurant, bar, gift shop. And now we're driving into the volcano, world famous Kilauea. Speed limit is 25 and 15. I think there's a couple spots where it gets faster, 35, but pay attention to the speed limit signs. There's a lot of tourists driving around through here, and sometimes people slow down for no reason because they want to look at something, and if you're doing the same thing they're doing but you're behind them, you might run into them. So save yourself the embarrassment. Pay attention to what you're doing, and everything will be good to go. And notice all the trees. A lot of those are called Ohia, and there's a disease killing a lot of them. So you're encouraged to try to stay on walking paths, otherwise you can carry the organisms that are actually killing the trees. And as we're driving here, there's to the right, there's some vents where there's steam coming out of the ground. It looks kind of like smoke, and there's a parking lot on the left-hand side, which I'll show you shortly, where you can park and you can go walk to the crater's edge. You can also see a steam vent, walk right up to it and feel how hot it is. You see the slope right there? That's what I'm describing, that hump behind the trees. It's hard to see. That's actually Mauna Loa. It doesn't look like much. It just kind of looks like a bump, but you keep driving and driving and driving, and you never seem like you reach it because it's so big. But because it's such a gradual slope, it's hard to tell how tall it is. Because right here we're at about 4,000 foot level. Think it's another 9,000 feet taller than where we are right here. So where I'm getting ready to go is I'm going to drive into the KMC, which is Kilauea Military Camp. These are all old, like I said, buildings that they built for, military maneuvers and stuff, and people used to live in those, and when they would be here doing maneuvers, they would be staying there. Commandant's quarters and everything. Everything's been converted. It's all, you can stay in one of these lodges. It's pretty awesome. It's kind of like staying in camp. If you were ever a kid and you went to some camp, summer camp, that's kind of what it's like. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's like a little town in here. There's a general store. They got baseball fields over there to the left. I'm driving towards where the bowling alley and movie theater are. Yeah, you heard me right. There's a bowling alley and movie theater in here. There's a recreation center. There's laundry. going to be making a left turn right here, go around this building, and where that truck's parked. That truck's parked right by where the laundry is, but also there's this building right here. Walk right up those steps. That's the post office. So it would be a cool place to have your mail stamped. General store right here. Sunscreen, things like that, snacks, sodas, stuff like that. I'm just driving around. I'm sorry that I have my camera aiming too low. I think I fixed it a little later on. Just driving around. See that building right there? I think it's called a Quonset hut. A round building. That's the bowling alley in there. And, oh, I'm sorry. Right over here is the recreation center and laundromat. Kids can go in there and, you know, stuff, play video games, and I think they got some foosball tables in there and stuff. Tennis courts, basketball courts. It's an awesome place. If you come to Hawaii and you want to stay somewhere where you can talk about how cool it was and unique, come to stay at the Kilauea military camp. Look it up. I'm serious. It's awesome. And right now, while there's very little tourists, which is right now July 2020, it's very sparsely populated. You have the run of the place. Pretty amazing. Go exploring. That's what I encourage people. Go exploring. If you want to take tours where you have somebody take you around, show you the island, that's great. But I encourage you, you got a rental car. Go burn the miles up. Go check everything out on this island. I'm telling you, you'll spend over 1,000. You'll burn 1,000 miles if you go exploring this island. And that means going checking out cool places, going snorkeling, checking out volcanoes, walking across lava flows. Yeah. Going surfing, whatever. Nature hikes. This is a huge island. This island is larger than both Delaware and Rhode Island. Combined. 4,000 square miles. A little over 4,000 square miles. So I'm going to come back up to the street, which is the main road getting in from where the gate was. I'm going to turn right. I'm just going to show you the dead end here. This used to go down to a place called the Jagger Museum, like Mick Jagger, even though it's not the same person. He was a scientist that was here doing a lot of studies on the volcano and stuff. See, look, there's Mauna Loa. See the hump? Anyway, the museum and the observatory over there is all falling into the crater about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I think it is now. May, 2 years ago, there was a large earthquake and it's all falling into the crater. So unfortunately you can't go down there, can't hike, can't ride bikes, can't drive. It was amazing when that volcano was still active in there. Well, it's active, but when it was still glowing and fresh lava was still there, smoking and sputtering and overflowing, it was pretty amazing. It's not doing that now, and it's not safe to go in there just due to all the earthquakes and the fact that the crater is over 1,000 feet deep and you don't want to fall in. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm heading back towards where the gate is. So I'm heading the opposite direction of when I came in. That's the military camp on the left-hand side where all the lodges and stuff are. And there's hiking trails everywhere. Anywhere where you see these crosswalk paintings on the ground, that means there's a hiking trail. I think there's over 100 miles worth of hiking trails just within this park. And they have signs for all of them. I suggest you stop at the visitor center. You can get a map. You can talk to tour guides and stuff, park rangers that will explain what's going on, explain how to be safe, how to be respectful. But they'll also give you good pointers and places to go if you want to take pictures, you want to go check out stuff. So right now what I'm doing is see over there on the left, I'm not sure, can you see the smoke? That's actually steam from the superheated vents where water's getting down into the cracks and going down into the magma chamber. And right here is the parking lot for the steam vents. And they have rails around it. See the people standing there? The guys standing on the opposite side from where we are, they're getting their glasses all fogged up. There's superheated steam coming out of there. It feels really good when it's freezing. When it's up here at nighttime and it's cold, it feels really good to stand there, but the second you walk out, it's like same thing as getting out of a jacuzzi. See the steam over there in the trees? You can walk over there. There's actually a pathway that you can go over there. So, yeah, and off to the right, there's also a hiking trail. A couple hundred yards, and you're on the edge of the crater. You can take wonderful pictures. There's a hiking path over there off to the left where I'm pointing. It takes you to sulfur banks, where you actually have a banks of, a hill, a slope where there's actually cracks in it, and there's actually sulfur coming out right now, and you can see all the yellow, all the minerals on the side of the hill. It's pretty cool. It's a great walk. Short, very easy. Anybody could do it. You could do it even, if you're wheelchair bound or anything like that, you can do the hike. It's not really a hike, it's a nice paved walkway. But it's awesome. I definitely suggest doing it. Little kids can do it, old people can do it. It's not challenging, but it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of challenging hikes in the park. But definitely do this one. Whether you like the challenge or not, definitely do it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang a right over here and show you the Volcano House. They have an art center to the left over there, but in here is Volcano House, see? And these lodges are, I think it was early 1900s when it was built, and they overlook the crater, the volcano, Kilauea. And these are all old rooms and everything, and they all open up to the volcano outside. And there's like I said, restaurants in there. There's a restaurant, there's a bar called George's, there's a gift shop, they have a fireplace in there they've had a fire stoked in there ever since they started it. They've never let it go out, they keep it going the whole time. Pretty awesome. So now I'm going to go back out to the main road again. And when I get to the stop sign, I'm going to hang a right because we're going to go down Chain of Craters Road. That's the visitor center over there. That's where you get all the information, brochures and things like that. Okay, right turn, and then the next right is Chain of Craters Road. Otherwise, just keep going. You go back out the gate to Volcano Highway. And like I said, while you're in here, pay attention to your driving. There's some people that don't seem to pay as much attention as they should, and they could just stop in front of you, or they end up driving on your side of the road because they're busy looking at some amazing views. But I encourage you're driving, just make sure you're being responsible. But check out the scenery. And you pretty much don't have to worry about which direction you're going. If you follow the road, you won't get lost. Basically, you're heading down Chain of Craters Road. It's basically 20 miles long, but right now it's blocked off 10 miles down due to this virus outbreak. I'm not sure why it's closed, but they have a gate down there. But it's at a pretty cool viewing area. And the trees here are just thick. The foliage is really thick right here. So you just follow the signs, but see the stop sign here. If you turn right, that's like where official vehicles go and stuff like that. But you turn left, just keep following it. Follow the road down. Speed limit through here varies between 25 to 15, and then it goes all the way up to like 35 at a few sections when you start opening it up and you get out of the forest here. But it gets kind of twisty through here. And this is a great road if you like to ride bicycles. You can either rent a bike and come up here, or you can get on a tour. There's lots of tours on this island where they'll bring you up in a, they'll bring you up here in a van, and they'll bring all your gear, bikes and everything. They'll pack you a lunch and haul you up here, drop you off at the top, and say, okay, we'll pick you up at the bottom. It's a bitchin' ride because you can smell everything, you can hear everything, you hear the birds, you can experience the outdoors. On a motorcycle it's pretty cool, on a bike it's even cooler. just because you get less noise interfering with what nature has to offer you. Then again, motorcycle, you don't have to pedal. And there's little hiking trails all through here. And usually they're indicated with signs, but there's some parking lots down here. Definitely take a look at all the parking lots that you see. You might find something you want to look at. You might find a hiking trail you want to do. If you're not interested in hiking, just keep going until you get to the bottom. And on your way back up, start hitting all the parking lots. Like here's a parking lot I was going to go in, like, nah, kind of crowded. But that parking lot right there is the main parking lot for the Kilauea Iki Trail. That's I-K-I. And you actually can walk around the rim of the original Kilauea crater and go down the side into the crater, walk across the crater floor, right across the lava. And through cracks you'll see steam coming out, things like that. You walk right through the middle of a volcano that isn't, that the magma chamber underneath it is no longer active. It's moved on. But then you walk across the crater floor and you come up the other side, and I think it's about a 4.5 mile walk. It's not super hard, but it's not for people that have, I would say, probably bad legs and ankles and knees, things like that. Elderly people that have a hard time walking. It's not paved. It's maintained, but it's not paved. There's a lot of tree branches. Oh, and right here to the left, this is where you would park. That's where you come out. If you go in one side, you come out the other for the Kilauea Iki Trail. But right here is the Thurston lava tubes, and it's closed to the public right now. But it's an easy hike. The lava tubes is an easy hike. It's paved, it's maintained, and most people can do that hike. And you get to drive, you get to walk through an actual lava tube. It's a tunnel that lava created. It's crazy. Anyway, back to the Kilauea Iki Trail. When you walk across that, you need a, not only, you don't have to be in good shape, but you have to be aware that it's not an easy hike. You're not walking on pavement. You're stepping over tree roots, climbing across boulders. At some points when you're going down the side of a volcano, there's switchbacks. So if you have bad ankles or knees or hips or something like that, or you're elderly or you have small kids, it's going to be a pretty big challenge. For the most part, it's not a huge challenge. It's just more involved. It's doable. But I would suggest you you can walk around the top of the crater rim and check it out, and you'll see how far down it is, and you'll realize, okay, maybe it's not for me, or yeah, I want to go down there. It's pretty cool, and you can see people down at the bottom, and you're like, ooh, they look like ants. That's how deep it is. So yeah, just take your time driving through here. Right now you'll see that there's very little traffic because tourism is pretty well non-existent on the island at this point in time, in the middle of July 2020, due to quarantines and things like that, and hard to find flights and hotels that are open and stuff. But when you're here and it's rocking with tourists, there's a lot of traffic. So I would suggest, if you're going to come and visit the volcano, come earlier in the morning. If you're here before 9 o'clock, it's the best time. 9 o'clock is about when everybody shows up. So go exploring and stuff like that, but if you don't want to do a lot of people, do it before 9. Or come up at nighttime. Come up in the evening. Now that the volcano's not glowing and it's not flowing, there's not as many tours that come up here. It used to be really crowded at night because everybody wanted to come and see the glowing sky from the volcano and the smoke and everything. But now it's not so bad. But I'm telling you, there's so much to do up here. You want to spend a whole entire day up here if you plan on checking it out. You don't want to be rushed because this is the main attraction to the whole island as far as tourist attraction. Think about it. Where else can you go hiking on a volcano in a big park like this? There are other places, but you know, this is a unique spot. It's active. It's still moving. It's alive. And there's signs all throughout here where there's other lava flows that have happened and have stopped. And you'll see there's signs for like the 1974 lava flow or the 1979 lava flow. And it's kind of interesting because some of the lava flows go right across the top of other lava flows and you can see them. You see, even though there's a stop sign here, it's really, you can't go straight, and off to the right is a parking lot. So they show you where you're allowed and where you're not allowed to go. Right there, you can walk it through there and go ride your bicycle, but you can't drive in there. So we're still heading down the hill towards the ocean. And this is where the road actually ends, is at the ocean. And if you're here with significant others, family members, loved ones, let them do all the filming for you, but make sure whoever's co-pilot that they're actually using their camera, because I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. When you go home and you tell all your friends or family, you want to show them your vacation photos and videos, you don't want to get home and realize that you didn't get them. So see this lava flow here? Yeah. Look, it just came right, goes right through the trees. Boom. And this lava flow, I think, is from 1979. Was in 1974. And there's a crater right to the right where those people are looking. They're looking down that hole. And it just fills in. And it stops and then it solidifies. And I don't remember what I'm explaining right here. But I'm pretty sure that's what I'm explaining. That once the magma chamber underneath it stops, everything just solidifies and it turns rock hard, and then it'll bubble up somewhere else. And you'll notice that the trees kind of are changing because we're going down in altitude, and the park just changes. A lot of it has to do with lava flows that have, when in the recent past have, gone through and burned through, the foliage that was there. There's a parking lot over there for another crater, different lava flow. But and then everything just grows back. This island is alive. It's growing. It's dying. It's the newest island in the island chain. That's why it's so big, because the erosion hasn't, started taking it back. Like Kauai is a lot smaller than this island, but it's also a lot older, because these islands are on the Pacific Rim of Fire, which is a active volcanic fault line. But imagine if you were out here and you were on a mountain bike. Another parking place to go look at another pit that used to be a volcano. But imagine if you were on your mountain bike, or and you were riding with your friends and you're just pedaling along. It's mostly downhill. You don't have to do much work on the pedals, and you can just coast and take it all in. Stop and take pictures. You might hear a wild boar in the bushes. You might hear birds. There's the state bird, the nene geese are out here. Sometimes you'll see their little babies, but you don't want to get too close to them. You'll get in trouble. You don't want to mess with them because they're very docile birds, and they don't know to be afraid of humans. Take the pictures because they're really cute. They have the sweetest little, what do you call it, chirp noise they make. Campgrounds down that road, they're closed right now. And those campgrounds are cool. They're developed sites, but there's community water. There's no electricity. They do have bathrooms, but they're basically pit bathrooms, but they're buildings, so you can lock the door. So see right here, the trees are getting ready to end. See how thin and sparse they are? Look, right about here, they just kind of stop. And get to another lava flow. Right there. It all came out of this pit that was off to the left. And the cool thing is that you can walk right up to it and look at it, but the problem is some of the foliage is too big and you can't really see down very far. But if you have a selfie stick that extends, get your phone on it, or if you're using like an action camera or something like that, put it on the selfie stick. Make sure you have a lanyard attached to your wrist, because if you drop it, you're not going to be getting it back. And no, you can't call somebody to go get it for you. If you try to go down there, you're signing your own death warrant. But use a selfie stick, put it on there, stick it up as high as you can get it. You can get, if you have a long enough selfie stick, you can have that camera a good 8 or 9 feet in the air, and you'll be able to get a great bird's eye view that most people don't get because the trees are so thick. So yeah, definitely. You might think it looks stupid, but get a selfie stick when you come here, because you can use it as an extension pole, like a ladder. So see, look, there's a pit right there. I really do apologize, I had the camera adjusted too low. I need to make it adjust higher. I'm just starting out with this moto vlogging stuff. And that sign is just showing you there's a parking lot. You can go into this parking lot and go walk on a volcano. It's kind of cool. And I'm just cruising. There's no reason to be in a hurry here. See, 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. I'm probably going 32. I'm just cruising along. And it's nice, like I said, it's nice. Have you seen me following any cars all the way down here? Look at, now look at all this lava. It's just, now you're in a lava field. And it's kind of cool to check out the different types of lava. Some of it looks crumbly, almost like, you know, something you can crush in your hand, but you can't. And others, it looks like it's somebody's just got done mixing it in a mixing bowl, and it's like brownie batter. It's pretty crazy to see. And then some of it's, you know, black, some of it's brown, some of it's red. They're different colors. Some of it looks really heavy because it's basalt, and it's different types depending on when it came up, what were the temperatures, how much gas was in that magma chamber, how hot was it, how quickly did it cool, how fast was it flowing, how much pressure. So that creates a different types of lava. But that's how, one of the ways that they can tell how long ago the lava flowed out is by tracing, you know, the different mineral content that's in there, and the size of the gas bubbles that were in the rocks, how well it fractures and things like that. They can trace it to a certain eruption, and they have figured that out. It's pretty amazing how they did it. We're getting close to where you're going to pop out of the trees and you start seeing the coast here. And yes, there is law enforcement in here. The National Park Rangers, they're in here. They are federal officers and they will enforce the law. So don't get coming in here acting like you own the place and being rude, and be smart. Take your time. Enjoy the sights. Don't tailgate. Don't get mad at other people because they're all doing the same thing you're doing. You want to go check it out and enjoy it. That's what they want to do. So anyway, yeah, be smart. Be safe. Don't bring a drone in here because you can't fly it. If you get caught flying it, they might confiscate your drone and you'll get a big fat ticket. And it's a federal ticket, so you don't get to go to just some old podunk courthouse. You're going to a federal courthouse. And the same goes with marijuana laws. Hawaii, you can have medicinal marijuana, but when you're on federal land like in here, federal laws apply, and you cannot possess marijuana. Just to let you know, right now, at this point, it's something that they could get you for. I'm not saying that they will, but it's something they could. Did you see that sign I just passed on the right? That was just showing you that this is an area where the nene geese tend to be, where they're prevalent. You might have nests in there, or they're used to, you know, eating in this general area. So just be mindful. Go. That's why you want to go slow too. You want to see them, because how terrible would you feel if you ran over an endangered bird. And they will let you walk right up to them. They don't know that they're supposed to fear people, so that's why they kind of want you to stay away from them. Kind of like the sea turtles, the honu. You don't want to mess with it. But see, we're getting ready to break out over to the edge of the park. And at this point, when you're in your car, you'll be able to see the ocean. See where the clouds, at the bottom of the clouds, well, just underneath that, that's all ocean out to the right. To the right side is Mackay, which is ocean. And to the left is, see, here's a ranger, and to that guy with the dog to the left, he's getting in trouble. Signs say no dogs, and it's because of those nene geese. And that guy thought he could do whatever he wants. Don't take advantage. Be polite. And it's all ocean out there. See the lava? This is the brownie batter lava that I was telling you about. It just looks like somebody just got it in a mixing bowl and just poured it out. And then we'll get closer and you'll see the colors change and stuff like that. See how it's like kind of light color here? It's shinier, and then you'll get up a little farther. See up on the ridge over there? That's that crumbly lava. One's Aha lava, and I'll have to look up the name of the other type of lava, but they're different names because they're different types. Kind of like, people have different names for snow and ice depending on where they're from, what region of the world they're from. So see the black stuff right there? That's that crushed lava, and that came out and rolled across the top of this harder lava here. And it just came out faster, it dried faster, I don't know what it did. Solidified, not dried. See it? Look at that. And it rolled right across the top. That's the different lava flow. Amazing. You're just driving across lava flows that just happened in the recent history. Some of these happened in your lifetime, and when you get down farther, you'll realize, depending on how old you are, you probably watched some of these lava flows on the news. I know down at the bottom of the hill, which you don't have access to right now, but probably by the time you come here, you will. When you get to the bottom of the hill, there's a spot down there where there's kind of like a visitor center down there, and you can go walk on the lava flow. That was the lava flow that happened in, I think it was the 90s when it went through, and it went through a place called Kalapana. Some of that's still there. Some of the people still are there, but it's pretty cool that you can go experience that. I'm not sure what I'm describing, but we're coming up to one of the first turnouts, and they're both there's turnouts on the right side of the road as you're going down, and we're about 10 miles into it right here. We're almost 10 miles into it right here, where you can pull out, park in a parking lot, go walk out onto a viewing platform and go check out the views, and you can look at the lava flows down below you, see the road that goes way down to the ocean, and when, depending on the time of year, you can stand up there and you can actually see whales. If you have binoculars, you can see whales from all the way up on this hill, which is called the Pali, P-A-L-I. It's pretty amazing. You come out here in the morning when the sun is coming up, and it reflects off the ocean right there in front of you, because we're looking directly kind of like east, and you'll see the reflection of the ocean kind of looking I guess it would be east by southeast, and it's amazing watching the sun come up right from here. So if you don't want to go up to the top of the volcano and kill away and freeze your hiney off, come over here and watch the sun come up over here. It's indescribable. Indescribable. I know that we're 45 minutes into this video here, but I appreciate that you're still along for the ride. If I can't be a tour guide while you're in the seat next to me or on the motorcycle behind me. I can do it while you're sitting here watching. You can pull off, take pictures. See the spot where you can pull off to the right? Just pull over there, take pictures there. That's what it's for. And that was a sign saying you're coming up to the end of the road. So I'm going to park at that and show you a good spot to stop. But this is basically 10 miles from the Volcano house up there where Chain of Craters Road started. And we are just going to pull off to the right and go into this parking lot. And you can walk down the path and go down to the viewing area, or you can just stay up here at the top and take pictures. I would suggest bring some binoculars, because if you're in the right time of the season, from anywhere from I think December-ish to March. I remember standing down there and hearing whales behind me. I didn't see them, and I heard them. I was standing on the cliffs down there and I heard the whales. It is amazing. So check it out. I'm going to leave you here with this. I appreciate you coming along for the ride, but by all means, come and visit. This island has so much for you. Aloha.